after we have completed chapter 5 and then we have seen the question answers from the chapter end exercises of my book as well as your book, and from the questions which I had given you additionally while discussing the chapter, I think it is high time that we should start chapter number 6, and side by side we will do the revision of chapter 2 and 1 which is left. So I have given you the revisionary questions of chapter 5, 4 and 3. I will be giving you the revisionary questions of 2 and 1 after we progress significantly ahead in chapter 6. So chapter 6 is all about changes around us. As you can see that I am wearing a safety goggles. Before that I was not wearing any safety goggles. If I open the safety goggles, then there is a change happening. It's a change around us. Chapter is complete. No. Physical changes are reversible in nature. So I can open these goggles or I can wear these goggles back again. So this change is physical in nature. So there is no change in the shape, there is no change in the size, there is no change in the color, there is no change in the structure of the substance. So if the changes are reversible, mostly it is called as physical change. But if I burn it now, I will not do that, it's costly. What I will do is, I'll blow a balloon rather. What type of change is this? Change in shape has taken place. Change in size has taken place. But it is reversible. Then this noise was coming out from my balloon. Huh? Alright. So this was a physical change. When the change was taking place, there was a noise. There was a change in the shape. There was change in the weight also. So all these changes are physical change. Now I'll show you a chemical change. What is this? This is citric acid. It is obtained from lemon. This is baking soda. This is obtained from ocean. This is a small plastic test tube which I am using and I have got from this kit, chemistry practical kit for class 6. So using this kit, I will be showing you some experiment. What I will do is, I will put some baking soda into this balloon. Now this balloon contains some baking soda. So while I was filling up the baking soda, some of the soda fell down. So what I will do is I will take some more. I can take it from here. This spool is available at your home also. So I can fill it from here like this. Yes. Some more. So if I want to put some more, I can put it here like this and then it will become more easy. Alright. So now it contains baking soda in this. This is citric acid. This citric acid I will fill up here. Now the citric acid is solid, so it will not go here easily. So what I can do is, I can either dissolve it or I can try it this way also. Yes, it is going now. Citric acid is there in. Now after that, I am dissolving this citric acid with water. Is the citric acid completely soluble? Citric acid is not completely soluble here because the quantity of water taken is less. If I will increase the quantity of water, it will become soluble. Or if I increase the temperature of this water, then also it will become soluble. Since I have taken very less quantity of water, so the remaining citric acid is in the form of a solid citric acid crystal only. Okay. Now, I am going to close the mouth of this bottle with the end of this balloon, and I will lift it up in such a way that the baking soda falls into the citric acid. So it fell here, and there is a gas also there inside. Oh, it broke into two half. This half and this half. Interesting. Like to see once more? Okay. So what I will do it once more. Some more citric acid. I'll take a new balloon. In this balloon I am putting baking soda again. This contains citric acid. This contains baking soda. Now again, let us see the magic. Can you see the reaction taking place? This is chemical change. Now what is filled up inside? Carbon dioxide gas. Citric acid reacts with the baking soda solution to form carbon dioxide gas. And what is the nature of carbon dioxide gas? Now I have carbon dioxide gas filled up in this balloon. Now what is the nature of carbon dioxide gas? Nature of carbon dioxide gas is that it can extinguish fire. So what I will do is I will do one more experiment in which I will show you fast chemical change. Now if I rub it from this end, no change will be there. So this is physical change. But if I rub it like this is fast chemical change. This is fast chemical change. It is burning rapidly. Now if I burn this candle, what will happen? This is slow chemical change. So burning of matchstick is fast chemical change. Burning of candle, the burning part of the candle, burning of candle is slow chemical change. But melting of wax is physical change. Burning of this wick is a chemical change because you will not get this wick back. But if you allow the wax to melt and fall down, you will get the wax back again because wax can melt and can solidify again. So this is the difference between physical change and chemical change. So burning of this matchstick is chemical change, rapid chemical change. Burning of this candle slowly is a slow chemical change, and I am allowing the carbon dioxide gas to come. So carbon dioxide gas extinguishes fire. So this balloon is acting like a fire extinguisher now. If you are intelligent enough, you could have said, sir, you could have blown the fire from your mouth also, because lungs gives out carbon dioxide gas too. If I do that, then you will not feel interested, because you believe that science is there in the gadgets, not in the surrounding. So in this chapter we are going to study that changes are there around us. So whatever changes we see around us is actually science happening. So lots of change keeps on happening around us, which are physical and chemical changes. These physical and chemical changes are of different types. Some physical changes are fast, some physical changes are slow. Some chemical changes are fast, some chemical changes are slow. Some physical changes are oscillatory in nature, like the pendulum. The pendulum keeps on moving from one end to the other end with fixed time interval. So it is oscillatory change or periodic change. Then change of day into night, night into day. This is also kind of physical change, and due to this change, day and night happens, and this kind of change is also called as periodic change. Now, after having done so much of experiments, let us now get back to our textbook. Now the textbook which I am using is the one which you are also using. I am referring to the students, those who I am teaching in the class, not to the worldwide students. So this is the textbook which I am teaching to the students, and students are learning Millennium Science Class 6. So in this chapter, all these experiments which I have shown is there also. You might be seeing that your mother is cooking food. So this is chemical change, because the wheat flour, when converted into dough, will not become wheat flour again. The roti made once cannot become the wheat flour again. So it's chemical change. But converting the dough balls into a well pressed to be made roti is a physical change, because you can always make it a gel back. So if you can reverse the change, it is called as physical change. If you cannot reverse the change, it is called as chemical change. What about your younger brother and younger sister growing up? Is it a physical change or chemical change? So when your younger brother or sister grows up, it is both physical change and chemical change, because change in shape, size and structure takes place, change in weight takes place, but parallel to that, their changes are not reversible, and hence that is chemical change too. Am I a chemical? That I undergo chemical change? Yes, I am a chemical. What kind of chemical I am? I am a chemical made up of carbohydrate, protein, fats, mineral, vitamins. So a proper organization of all these vitamins, minerals, carbohydrate, protein, fats makes me. I forgot something, which is 75% of our body is water. So we are made up of water, carbohydrate, protein, fats, minerals and vitamins. So we are also chemicals. And at different age, the composition of this chemical also changes. Now, next part is, what are the different changes we see around us? We see that things change in their shape, things change in their position, things change in their size, things change in their color, things change in their state of matter. Solid becomes gas, gas becomes liquid, liquid becomes gas, and vice versa and whatnot. So, and change in the molecular or internal structure. Some changes involve change in heat, light and pressure. When you boil water, the boiled water becomes hot, so it is change in heat. When you allow the water to become frozen, it becomes ice. Again the temperature changes. When you allow the water to boil in a closed lid container, the pressure inside the vessel also changes. All these changes are physical change, can be reversed. Some changes are reversible and some changes are irreversible. Example of some reversible changes are folding of cloth, you can unfold that. Melting of ice, you can again make it ice. Inflation of tire, you can again deflate that. Melting of butter, you can again make it solidified. Reversible changes, burning of wood, as I showed you in the case of matchstick. Growth of plant, bursting of cracker, and cutting of a tree. These all are chemical changes. I doubt if cutting of a tree is a chemical change. Cutting of a tree is an irreversible change. But yes, after the tree is cut, if it is processed properly and if it is possible, then it can be used as a graft to grow another tree. That is again an entirely different concept then. Some changes are fast, some changes are slow. Like I have shown you that burning of candle is a slow change, whereas burning of matchstick is a fast change. What kind of change would you call is bursting of cracker? Super fast change? No, it is called as rapid change. Again, some examples of fast changes are bursting of balloon, burning of paper, bursting of cracker, spinning of top, burning of cooking gas. These are all physical changes. Slow changes are ripening of fruit, germination of seed, rusting of iron, setting of milk to form curd, and change in season. These are all slow changes. Now, another type of changes are desirable and undesirable changes. Desirable changes are the changes which we want to happen, and undesirable changes are the changes which we don't want to happen. Like becoming topper in the examination is desirable change, and not able to pass the exam is undesirable change. Yes, it is. Similarly, there are many undesirable changes keeps on happening in our life. Like rottening of food is undesirable change. Then splitting of milk into curd is also undesirable change unless we don't want it to happen. Flood, natural disasters, these are all undesirable changes. Volcano, undesirable change. Earthquake is undesirable change. Pollution, undesirable change. Contamination in food, that means addition of unwanted material, poisonous substances in the food is undesirable change. Desirable changes are the changes which we want to happen, like our physical growth, our mental growth, our financial growth. So these are all are desirable changes which we want in our life. Next is periodic and non-periodic changes. The changes which takes place after fixed interval is called as periodic change, like change of season, change of day and night, so change of climatic condition. So these changes you will find either happens after few hours or after few months. So these are called as periodic changes. So changes which takes place after a fixed interval of time are called as periodic changes, whereas non-periodic changes are the changes which takes place once only, like formation of these Himalayan mountains. It was formed once only, and since then it is there itself. Any accident is also non-periodic change. Now, periodic changes are, examples are change of season, then high and low tide, change in the phase of the moon. Today when I am teaching you was a solar eclipse day. So this solar eclipse also is a long-term periodic change. This change is not a non-periodic change, it is a periodic change, but then the duration of this is long, hence we are not able to find out its periodicity because the eclipse is seen from different parts of the earth in different angles. Non-periodic changes are dust storm, meeting with an accident, volcano eruption, rusting of iron, and falling sick. So there is no fixed time for this kind of changes. Physical and chemical changes. Physical and chemical changes are the changes like this. A change in which no new substances are formed are physical change, and these are reversible in nature, like inflating of balloon. Chemical changes are the changes in which new products are formed. Like I showed you that when citric acid reacted with the baking soda, then carbon dioxide gas was formed. But carbon dioxide gas, water and sodium salt cannot reverse themselves back to form the citric acid and the baking soda again. So chemical changes are irreversible changes. Chemical changes are permanent changes, whereas physical changes are reversible changes. In a chemical change, there are a few terms which you need to know: reactants and the products. Now, the baking soda and the citric acid which I used was the reactant. The gas which was formed was the product. So in a chemical change, always there will be a reaction between reactant and the product. Nature of chemical change is that chemical change is usually permanent in nature. This change leads to formation of new substances. This may involve heat, light or sound. I showed you that when chemical change was going on, at that time there was brisk effervescence. Bubbles were coming out with fizz sound. And there can be heat and light too. Changes due to heat. Changes due to heat generally happens due to the change in the state of matter. Like when water is heated, it changes itself into vapor, and when vapor is cooled down, it converts itself into water. Further, when we heat water, it evaporates. When we heat candle, it melts. Wax, it melts. When we heat ice, it melts. So when you heat something, its state changes. So there are three states of matter: solid, liquid and gas. Now when you cool the vapors, it becomes liquid. When you cool the liquid, it becomes ice. So generally solidification takes place when you cool, and vaporization takes place or melting takes place when you heat any substance. So these physical changes take place when you heat or you cool down any matter. Next is change in solubility. You might have seen that when you dissolve sugar in a cup of water, then after few spoons of sugar, no more sugar can be dissolved. That particular solution in which no more solute can be added is called as saturated solution. But if you warm that liquid for some more time, then it may get dissolved. So when you make the sugar syrup for making desserts like जलेबी की चाशनी, आया मुंह में पानी. जब हम जलेबी की चाशनी बनाते हैं या रसगुल्ले की चाशनी बनाते हैं तो उसमें हम चीनी घोलते हैं. फिर जब चीनी घुलना बंद हो जाता है तो पानी को गर्म करते हैं. और ऐसा करते करते क्या हो जाता है, एक तार की चाशनी बनती है. अब एक तार की चाशनी तो मिलेनियम बुक में लिखा हुआ होगा नहीं, मम्मी से पूछ लो, वो बताएंगी. जब जलेबी बनाते हैं, घेवर बनाते हैं या फिर कोई भी मीठा बनाते हैं तो उसमें जो चाशनी बनाई जाती है उसको बनाने के लिए हम क्या करते हैं, पानी को थोड़ा सा और गर्म करते हैं, तो जो भी बचा कुचा में शुगर था वो डिजॉल्व हो जाता है. इस तरह के सॉल्यूशन को हम कहते हैं सुपर सैचुरेटेड सॉल्यूशन. अब एग्जाम में आएगा थोड़ी बोलोगे मम्मी से पूछ के लिखते हैं. एग्जाम में आएगा तो कैसे लिखोगे, एग्जाम में लिखोगे सुपर सैचुरेटेड सॉल्यूशन आर दो सॉल्यूशन इन विच एक्सेस ऑफ सॉल्यूट इज डिजॉल्व्ड एट ए टेम्परेचर मोर देन द रूम टेम्परेचर. रूम टेम्परेचर से अधिक टेम्परेचर बढ़ा के अगर सॉल्यूट को सॉल्वेंट में यानी कि शुगर को वाटर में डिसॉल्व किया गया हो तो इस तरह के सॉल्यूशन को हम कहेंगे सुपर सैचुरेटेड सॉल्यूशन. हिंदी में बोल दिया, इंग्लिश में. द सॉल्यूशन इन विच नो मोर सॉल्यूट कैन बी एडेड इज कॉल्ड एज सैचुरेटेड सॉल्यूशन. व्हेन in a saturated solution more solute is added at a higher temperature, then it is called as super saturated solution. All right, सो राइट इट इन इंग्लिश. आप एग्जाम में इंग्लिश में लिखेंगे. प्लीज राइट दैट इन द एग्जाम इन इंग्लिश ओनली. ऑल राइट. Try to make small sentences. You will be able to do it. Now if you will compare whatever I have just taught with in the form of experiment and in the form of my funny way of teaching, if you compare that with this textbook, you will find that I have gone by the line by line of each paragraph, because ultimately you are going to prepare from this book only. All right. Now if I teach changes around us from my mind, then I can go from one direction to the other direction, but I need to channelize your learning. आपका जो पढ़ाई हो वो उचित दिशा में हो. तो आपके पास जो पुस्तक है उसी पुस्तक के अनुसार मैंने लाइन बाय लाइन आपको पढ़ाया, ताकि जब आप इस पुस्तक को पढ़ें, कौन सी पुस्तक, मिलेनियम साइंस फॉर क्लास 6, इस पुस्तक को पढ़ें तो उस समय जो आपको घर में पढ़ा रहे हो उनको पढ़ाने में भी सुविधा हो और आपको समझने में भी सुविधा हो. ऐसा नहीं कि मैंने जो पढ़ाया और बुक में जो है वो अलग अलग हो. अब अगर मान लो कि आपको कसरत करना हो और बॉडी बनाना हो, तो डंबल कौन उठाएगा? मैं एक बार बताऊंगा, 2 बार बताऊंगा, लेकिन आखिर का कसरत तो आपको करना है. इसलिए यहाँ पे जो यूनिटेड क्वेश्चंस होते हैं इसे हम कहते हैं एक्सरसाइज क्वेश्चंस. तो ये जो क्वेश्चन आंसर्स हैं आप कोशिश करेंगे कि आप खुद कर पाएं. ठीक है. तो जब आप ये खुद कर पाएंगे तो आपके अंदर ये एबिलिटी डेवलप करेगी कि जिस एबिलिटी से आप एग्जाम में भी अच्छे आंसर्स लिख पाएंगे. But in the due course of my teaching, I will provide the answers of these questions to you in the form of revisionary questions. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट टाइम जब मैं इस चैप्टर को आपको रिवाइज कराऊंगा तो टेक्स्ट को ना करा के मैं इन क्वेश्चन आंसर्स के फॉर्म में आपको रिवाइज कराऊंगा. ठीक है. इससे पहले आप खुद इन क्वेश्चन के आंसर को सॉल्व करने का कोशिश करें. ऑल राइट. थैंक यू टू एवरीवन.